The movie starts with a young woman named Ellen Hutter having a scary dream. In the dream, she makes a deal with an evil demon called Nosferatu. He's also a vampire. After the deal, he becomes close to her and then chokes her, taking control of her. Ellen suddenly wakes up and realizes it was only a nightmare. Her husband, Thomas, sees that she is upset and hugs her, telling her everything is okay. The story is set in Germany in 1838. Thomas is in a hurry to meet his boss, Orlok, so he says goodbye to Ellen and goes to work. Ellen is still shaken by her dream and cannot stop thinking about it. At work, Thomas apologizes for being late. Orlok congratulates him on getting married and offers him a job. He asks Thomas to sell a house in Wisburg to a strange man named Count Orlok. Thomas accepts, hoping this job will help him get promoted. Later that day, Thomas tells Ellen that he must travel to meet Count Orlok. Ellen becomes worried and begs him not to go. She tells him about a terrible dream she had before their wedding, where she dreamed she married death, with dead boys as guests. Thomas tries to calm her down. He says it was only a dream and explains that he needs to go so they can have a better future. The next day, Thomas takes Ellen to stay with his rich friend, Friedrich Harding, while he is gone. He comforts her and promises she will be safe. That night, Ellen has another nightmare, where Nosferatu makes their bond even stronger. The next morning, before Thomas leaves, Ellen gives him her necklace. He does not know that she has hidden a piece of her hair inside it, which is something Nosferatu asked for. After a long trip, Thomas arrives in Transylvania. At first, the villagers are friendly, but soon they begin acting strangely and laughing in a creepy way. The village chief scolds them and warns Thomas to stay away from Count Orlok. Even so, Thomas bribes the chief and is allowed to stay for one night. That night, an old woman gives Thomas a cross and tells him he will need it. Later, he sees the villagers performing a frightening ritual. They stab a dead body, saying it is a vampire. Thomas is horrified but decides to continue his journey the next morning. On the way to the castle, a mysterious carriage appears with no driver. Thomas bravely gets inside, and wolves run alongside it as it carries him to Count Orlok's mansion. Thomas arrives at Count Orlok's castle and meets the Count, who looks frightening and impatient. Orlok complains that Thomas is late and insists they eat together so they can finish the house deal quickly. During dinner, Orlok offers Thomas wine. When Thomas asks about the strange stories he heard from the villagers, Orlok laughs them off and says they are just silly superstitions. While eating, Thomas accidentally cuts his thumb, and it starts to bleed. Count Orlok notices the blood and begins acting strangely. Thomas feels that something is wrong, but before he can react, Orlok reveals that he is a vampire and attacks him. Back in Wisburg, Ellen tries to warn her friend Anna that something bad is coming. Anna does not take her seriously and thinks Ellen is just imagining things. Thomas later falls unconscious and has a strange dream. During this time, Orlok forces him to sign a mysterious paper written in a dark, unknown language. Orlok also takes Thomas's locket, which contains a piece of Ellen's hair. After that, Orlok gives Thomas gold coins as payment. When Thomas wakes up and asks to leave the castle, Orlok refuses and tells him that leaving is impossible. Soon, Thomas notices bite marks on his chest and realizes that Orlok has been feeding on him. Panicked, he tries to escape but finds that all the doors are locked. While exploring the castle, he discovers a staircase leading down to the basement. There, he finds Orlok sleeping inside a coffin. Thomas tries to kill him with an axe, but Orlok wakes up and stops him. Terrified, Thomas runs away. Orlok then uses Ellen's hair to cast a dark spell. Even though she is far away, Ellen feels the spell's effects and becomes weak and sick. Orlok also uses his powers to force Thomas to open a locked door, leaving him unable to fight back. Orlok attacks Thomas again and feeds on him, showing complete control over him. Back at Friedrich's house, Ellen's condition gets worse. She suffers from seizures and strange behavior, so Friedrich calls Dr. Wilhelm for help. As the doctor examines her, Ellen moans as if she is under a spell. Dr. Wilhelm gives her medicine to calm her, but it does not help much. He finally suggests sending her to his mentor, Albin Eberhard von Franz, a scientist in Switzerland who studies dark and supernatural forces. Meanwhile, Thomas escapes the castle by jumping out of a window, but he falls into a river. A nun later finds him unconscious near the water and brings him to a nearby church. She prays for him, and after some time, Thomas wakes up. Back at Friedrich's house, Ellen's seizures become even worse, and Dr. Wilhelm cannot stop them. He warns that an evil force may be nearby. As Thomas recovers at the church, he realizes the danger is not over. The nuns ask him to stay and rest, but he refuses. He insists on returning to Wisburg to protect Ellen. At the same time, Count Orlok begins traveling to Wisburg. He brings with him a large crate filled with grave dirt and rats carrying the plague. Dr. Wilhelm and Friedrich travel to Switzerland and visit Professor Albin at his home. Albin welcomes them kindly and listens as Wilhelm explains how Ellen's condition has been getting worse. After studying her case, Albin realizes that Ellen is under the control of Nosferatu, an evil vampire who spreads disease. Albin tries to treat Ellen and asks the demon to reveal itself. Suddenly, Ellen becomes possessed, and Orlok speaks through her. She screams for help and completely loses control. Albin tells Friedrich that Ellen is cursed by a demon. Dr. Wilhelm disagrees and says it is just her imagination. Friedrich believes Ellen's illness is caused by stress and worry because Thomas is gone. Albin insists the demon is real and says he needs more time to study it. He asks Anna to watch Ellen closely and to call him if anything strange happens. Thomas later returns to Wisburg and tells Ellen that her dreams were true. Soon after saying this, he collapses and faints. Around the same time, guards tell Friedrich about a shipwreck. They show him a strange ship that brought the plague to Wisburg. This ship belongs to Count Orlok. Orlok moves into his new house and meets his servant, Nock. Nock bows before him, and Orlok promises to spread fear and suffering across the city. The next day, rats from the ship spread the plague through Wisburg, killing many people. Ellen stays by Thomas's side as he becomes very ill. Anna visits Ellen and apologizes for not believing her before. Meanwhile, Dr. Wilhelm and Albin examine a dead body from Orlok's ship. They discover that the rats are not normal animals. They are evil. Albin says they must find Nock immediately, but he has already escaped. Orlok begins chanting a spell to spread darkness and despair. Thomas has a terrifying vision of Orlok and wakes up in fear. At the same time, Anna goes downstairs and is shocked to see Ellen acting strangely. Ellen begs Anna to stay with her for the night, and Anna agrees. At Albin's office, he shares his research about the vampire plague. That night, Ellen dreams of Orlok again. Orlok tries to trick her by saying Thomas traded her for gold and signed divorce papers. Ellen does not believe him. Furious, Orlok threatens to kill Thomas if Ellen does not obey him. When Ellen wakes up, Orlok's power has already spread through the city. His rats attack Anna, leaving Ellen terrified. The plague spreads quickly, and Wisburg is placed under quarantine. Anna becomes sick and shows signs of the disease. Friedrich stays with Ellen to comfort her, but later suggests that she and Thomas leave the city. He believes they may be connected to the spread of the disease. Ellen becomes angry and hurt by his accusation. Meanwhile, Albin finds a strange symbol in Nock's office. It warns that Nosferatu has arrived. Ellen and Thomas return home. Thomas begs Ellen to leave the city with him, but she refuses, saying it is already too late. Ellen admits that she summoned the demon when she was young and has been connected to him ever since. She accuses Thomas of caring more about money than their safety and reminds him of the document he signed for Orlok. Thomas and Ellen begin to argue. Suddenly, Ellen starts shaking and becomes possessed by Nosferatu. Thomas realizes something terrible is happening and tries to get help, but Ellen stops him. While under the demon's control, she demands that Thomas be intimate with her. Afterward, the possession ends, and Ellen returns to herself, confused and frightened by what she has done. That same night, Orlok kills Friedrich's children to show how powerful he is. Devastated by their deaths, Friedrich finally accepts that Nosferatu is real. Professor Albin then explains a plan to stop the vampire. He says Nosferatu can only be killed if a pure-hearted woman willingly gives her life. Ellen is the only one who can do this. Overcome with grief, Friedrich tries to summon Nosferatu using his wife's body. However, when the others arrive, they discover that Friedrich has already died from the plague. His body and his wife's body are burned to prevent the disease from spreading. The group decides to move forward with Albin's plan. Ellen prepares to sacrifice herself and lures Orlok to her room. At the same time, the others find a coffin they believe belongs to Orlok. Thomas opens it and stabs the body inside, but it turns out to be Nock, not Orlok. They realize Orlok has tricked them. Thomas rushes back to save Ellen while Albin destroys the vampire's resting place. At home, Ellen waits for Orlok dressed in her wedding gown. She calmly recites her wedding vows and fully gives herself to him. She allows Orlok to feed on her, knowing it will lead to his death. When morning comes, Orlok grows weak and understands that Ellen's sacrifice is killing him. He collapses and turns into a dead body, dying in great pain. Ellen holds him as he fades away. Thomas arrives and finds Ellen weak and dying. She takes his hand and passes away peacefully. Her sacrifice ends the plague and destroys Nosferatu forever.